On the account this week, I made 8%, and for the challenge, as you know, all you need is 6%. I made 8% on my $50,000 challenge account. So as you just heard, I am now funded 50K with Topstep. I'm officially a funded trader. It's crazy to even think about it. All right, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time tuning in, first thing I want to do is thank you for giving me your time. This is the YouTube channel where I'm just documenting my trading journey. First and foremost, I want to thank Tektronix.com for sponsoring this series. If you've been looking to build your dream PC, Tektronix can help you out with that. They'll be able to help you build the highest quality PC with the best parts available in the market. So make sure you go and check them out. Link is down in the description. Everything comes with a 1-year warranty and quoting is available. So you're able to contact them and get very specific with the parts you want contained in your build. So make sure you take advantage of my discount code. Use RTFLV for 10% off at checkout. If you've been wondering what broker I use for my FX trades, I use Hero FX. The link is down in the description. Make sure you go and check them out. Thank you so much for 860 subscribers on the YouTube channel. It's all thanks to you and to the man upstairs. We've been growing crazy. I can't even explain. I feel like just a couple weeks ago I had 200 subscribers on YouTube and now we're close to 1,000. That 1,000 mark is gonna be here in no time. I am just glad that you guys are finding enjoyment in my content. And when I tell you about the crazy week that I had this week, I'm just gonna save it, but this was the best week that I've had. This is the best week that I've ever had. I went undefeated on all my trades. When I say I feel like I cracked the code, I feel like I cracked the code. Once you see it, you really cannot unsee it. On the account this week, I made 8%, and for the challenge, as you know, all you need is 6%. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend who is also in their trading journey, because a lot of the stuff that I'm going through is what they're gonna end up going through in their journey at some point. So hopefully they could learn from my mistakes and maybe get some questions answered that they've had. If you have any questions, also leave it in the comments down below. Turn on that bell notification so that you're notified whenever I post a new video. Everything is just changing so fast. Life is really moving in the right direction. I'm gonna save everything that I have to say until we get into the charts, but let's just get into the charts. That's pretty much all I have to say. Let's get into the charts. All right, so we're now in the charts. This is the week that we ended up having right here. Bullish week, as you can see. As I anticipated before in the last two videos, I said that during this week we were gonna come down, rebalance this imbalance, and then bounce off this breaker. The week after that we were bullish, and I said we were gonna be bullish, starting off the week going down and then being bullish. Same thing happened this past week, and like I said, I'm sorry that I had to clickbait you. This is what ended up happening. As many people may know, especially if you're going through a funded account and you trade through TradingView like I do with TradeOvade, you have to toggle a certain setting in your TradeOvade account so that you're able to trade on TradingView. It basically gives TradingView permission to execute your trades. I'm gonna have the screenshot pop up in the screen of what the actual screenshot says. It wasn't letting me sign in at all, so I had to contact Topstep, and when I contacted them, it took a couple of days for them to reach out to me and get it all figured out. And once I got it figured out, I started trading on the account again. I missed 2 trades that were, I believe it was about 3% of the account on Monday and Tuesday, with Tuesday being a huge day. That's the reason why I didn't pass the account this week. Obviously there was a couple more things that I'm going to talk about, but I did win every trade I took this week. I traded on Monday and Tuesday in the demo account just because I didn't have my Topstep account to trade on. That's what I had to do. Wednesday I got my account back, and then Thursday I traded on my account, and today I traded on my account. So let's just get into it so we can discuss what happened this week. I made about 8% on the account. I was taking the same amount of position sizes. If I was trading on the accounts, I would have closed out at the points that I was going to talk about. The only thing that was really getting me this week was trading at all-time highs, just having no clear targets to hit, and then letting greed get in the way and trying to let the trade ride out. That was basically my struggle this week. Apart from that, we could see what ended up happening. Let's just get straight into it. Monday and Tuesday I traded on the demo account like I said. This is a trade that I ended up taking on Monday. I believe there was an SMT Monday between these two lows on ES, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so the SMT on the 15-minute right here with this low and this low were actually on YM, so that's where I got the SMT. But then as you can see here, there was also an SMT in the 5-minute with these lows being higher lows in the S&P and then lower lows in NQ. So that just goes to show that ES was actually the better trade this day, but I don't really trade ES. I'm comfortable trading NQ, and I've just been doing that the whole time. So yeah, basically what I saw was a breaker. We had formed that SMT. I saw a breaker with this high, low, and then higher high. We were already below the true open of New York. We were below the weekly open. We were also below the 12 o'clock open. So we were in an extreme discount, and we formed a breaker on the 5-minute. So what I did was I placed my trade once we came back into the breaker. I wanted to see how low it can go. So I took this with a actual market order. I didn't take a limit order like I usually do. I was trying to be a bit more patient because last week I wasn't patient at all. And there's usually some type of retracement down before we always go up. I saw that we had a 1 hour sell side imbalance higher. So that's what my target target was. Basically, this is the trade that I took. Once we came back into the breaker, I waited to see what it was gonna do, and it came down. As soon as I saw it coming back up, I took the buy. This is also an order block that we came into right here with this last down close candle before this move up, and I targeted the bottom of that fair value gap, but I honestly could have targeted the top of it, as you can see here, which would have been an even crazier trade. But this is the trade that I took. This was about like a $600 trade. I don't remember if I even have a screenshot. I had my full 5 contracts and I just let it run because there was no point of me taking profits here. I saw this imbalance and I thought that was going to be the draw on liquidity, which it was, and it went up into it and ended up filling it up all the way. So that was my target for Monday. And then let's just move on to Tuesday. So this in itself was a 2% trade on the funded account. I'm just so upset that I couldn't take this trade on my actual account, but you can see we're consolidating. We went up, took out buy side, came back down with the manipulation, taking out sell side, and then started moving up. I was actually going to try to enter down here, but I believe I was driving, if I'm not mistaken. I took this trade while I was driving, and I was targeting these highs from Monday. That's what my target was. It was a 7R crazy trade, and I let my full 5 contracts run the whole time there. I believe I entered on the 1 minute, and if I'm not mistaken, there's probably SMT on this day too. Yep. So as you can see here, it was a breaker. We had a higher time frame level lower with this red line. It was an order block with these down close candles. We ended up taking off. If you use the last manipulation leg to measure your targets, as you can see, it basically got to the 2.5, almost to the tick. It barely missed it, but I was aiming for that high, which was in between the -2 and the -2.5 on the fib. This trade was amazing. It didn't take too long. I was in it for about an hour. It was a $1,000 trade. It was a 2% trade that I could have had on my account. I don't know if I mentioned it in the beginning of the video, but make sure you stick around to the end of the video so I can show you the progress on the account. This is the move that I caught on Tuesday. This was a crazy trade. Biggest size trade that I've had to that moment. I had a crazier trade on Wednesday, which was also huge. So I'm excited for next week. It's Q3 of the month next week, and I haven't looked at the economic calendar to see how the week is going to play out, but it should be very fun. I'm extremely confident. I'm so confident to the point that I've never been before. I've never been this confident with my consistency in trading, winning all these trades. Obviously you can have a good trading week, but I think it's going to carry over. I've been working extremely hard, studying extremely hard, and I've been journaling. Like I say, if you don't journal, man, you're missing out on the amount of progress, because every trade that you lose, you did something wrong. And if you're looking at the data and you're correcting yourself on those trades, you're just going to get better. I have been trading every single day. So if you don't have a journal, make sure you end up getting yourself some type of trading journal so that you can journal all your trades, because honestly it's the best habit that I formed with trading. I journal every day after my trades, whether it's a win or lose. I discuss everything that I thought, everything that prompted me into taking the actual trade, to the point where I even talk about what I was feeling during the trade. It's very important to have all the little details. So yeah, like I said, one more time, this was an amazing trade. So we came down into a higher time frame level, formed a breaker and an order block, and we formed a buy side imbalance. So I just waited until we came back into the buy side imbalance, had my limit order set at the premium end of the buy side imbalance. Once price came back into the breaker and into the order block, you see how the confluences stack up, and this was a very high probability trade on a Tuesday as well. With the consolidation, manipulation, distribution, I measured the last manipulation leg on the fib and had my target with a higher time frame high. It was in between the -2 and the -5, and like I said, it basically hit the -5 to tick. So it's very powerful what you could do with these as targets. Let's get onto the next trade, which was on Wednesday. Before we even get to Wednesday, Tuesday afternoon session was pretty crazy. It was better than the morning session, honestly. I didn't trade because I already had taken a W in the morning, and what I like to do is just, if I'm done trading, I'm done trading. I like to clear my headspace, because a lot of people like to just stay in the charts all day, and that doesn't really mean that you're going to become a better trader. So either way, I just decided that I was gonna not look at the charts after I took my W, and that's what I did. I took my W, didn't even look at this. I didn't see this until the next day, and the next day I actually noticed an SMT right before the news. SMT is so powerful. If you're not using SMT, I don't even know what to say to you, because it's too powerful. It's just way too powerful. If you're not using SMT, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're not trading efficiently. SMT is basically when the market is telling you it's gonna switch, or it's gonna flip, it's gonna go somewhere else. Yeah, so this is the SMT that I saw on Wednesday on the 4 hour. If you can see here, these two candles with this SMT, and if you took the trade Wednesday, look at this range that was created. The morning session was amazing, and we had FOMC in the afternoon. So honestly, the trade during FOMC wasn't as good as the morning session. So what I did was I was gonna wait for FOMC, but now that I have the experience gained from this day. If a crazy range is created in the morning session before FOMC and interest rates come out, the trade in the morning is going to be better than the trade in the afternoon. So you can't expect a large range in the morning and a large range in the afternoon. One of them is going to have to either consolidate or just trade within a range. Back to the SMT, if you take these two candles, you can see that NQ made a lower low and ES made a higher low with these two candles. I'm zooming in so you guys can really see it. So technically, if you would have used this, you could have took a trade before market opened and then just rolled it out all day, because as you can see here, very clear SMT right there. It was a tail sign to why price went up the next few hours, and why I didn't take the trade was because I got burned last time I tried to trade on morning session of FOMC, so I just decided not to even touch it. But an amazing trade ended up setting up in the morning session, and there was another SMT in the morning session, which I can show you, that happened on Wednesday as well. So like I'm saying, SMT is crazy. It's so good. If you're not using SMT, I'm sorry. If you take a look here, 9:30, I'm sure you could already see it with NQ coming down. I'll mark it out for you guys. MQ coming down, making a lower low, reaching into this buy side imbalance, and ES making a higher low, not even getting close to the buy side imbalance. So this was a clear SMT right here, as you can see, with a higher low in ES, and then Q make it a lower low into the buy side imbalance, and just took off. And if you measure this last down close candle, you would have had a target up to here, and you would have hit all targets, honestly, because we were trading at all-time highs at this point. And what's even crazier about it is that I wasn't paying attention to the charts in the morning. I said I wasn't going to trade in the morning session because of what happened last time I tried to trade morning session FOMC. This was what played out. It was an amazingly easy trade. Like, this is very textbook in terms of buy side imbalance. As soon as you notice your SMT, you could have had your limit order at the premium end and maybe had your stop loss right below consequent encroachment of that buy side imbalance. I said we already noticed the SMT, so that was extra confirmation that we were going to go higher. And as you can see here, amazing SMT, and it's probably a lower time frame market maker model as well. So as you can see here, extremely clean. If you wanted to have a better RR on the trade, you could have took this trade right here. Had stop at the bottom of the fair value gap candle and then targeted the same target. As you can see right here, it would have hit all targets either way, but you could have targeted the -4 on the fib and you would have hit. That would have been a 5-to-1 RR and barely any drawdown. Literally came back down and then took off. I wasn't paying attention to this at all. That is my mistake. I ended up taking another trade in the afternoon session, which is this trade right after FOMC. I had noticed that we came down and we had left these equal highs right here, which was coming close to this high. So in the afternoon session, we went up, didn't really take out any significant lows apart from these lows here. I think I might have took one trade and lost somewhere in here if I'm not mistaken, and that is something else that I have to work on, because you're always developing as a trader and you're always gonna have to try to master things. But what I had to work on this week was my first entry. I usually enter and then there's always some type of liquidity run on the lower time frame after a higher time frame level is taken. So that was one of my problems this week. I would enter the first trade, lose, and then still be in the move, still catch the winning trade and make more than I lost. But if I just eliminate that first loss, it's obviously going to be more profitable. And then the second problem was the greed. I was up about $1,000 at the top of this trade. I was gonna close out once we got to the -2. As you can see, we almost got to the -2. That was after I measured this fib as my target. I should have took profits at this higher time frame level, which was the all-time high at the moment. I got a bit greedy. I thought we were gonna end up going even higher. As you can see, ended up coming back down. So then I just watched this. It took a couple minutes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes to come all the way down. It almost stopped me out. I got out about somewhere around here. So it went from $1,000 trade to a couple hundred. It was annoying. I was very frustrated this day because it was $1,000 trade. And I thought since it was Wednesday, I should have just let it ride out. But like I said, I wasn't paying attention to the fact that this big range had already formed earlier in the day. So there's no way that the afternoon session is going to have that big of a range as well. And then if I paid more attention, ES was a bit more delayed on this move. So if I go on the 1 minute, so this is the move on Wednesday. ES was a bit more delayed on actually getting to this range high or that all-time high. So what ES did was once it got past that all-time high, it reversed. So what I should have seen was that this was only going higher because ES hadn't made it to its target yet. And when it made it to its target, it just reversed. So I should have been very cautious when I was up around here and just closed out the trade. I saw the $1,000 mark. That's how fire that is. I saw the 2% on the trade. So that's basically 1 point something percent on Monday, 2% on Tuesday. I would have had 2% on this. That's already 5 point something percent, 5.1, 5.2% on the account, and then I won on Thursday. Thursday was a big trade as well that I could have just closed out as soon as I got to the target range that would have passed me the challenge. But it was frustrating, and it happens. It's just something that I'm gonna have to live with. I'm working on just having better targets and being able to anticipate a move down like this, or when it's going to reverse like this. Like I said, what I should have noticed was that ES was taking a bit longer to reach its higher time frame target, and NQ had already reached it. So this move up was only because ES hadn't gotten to his target yet, and once ES got to his target, you could already see the damage that this did. But this was the trade. Either way, we took out a low and started to come up higher. I knew this was gonna end up being a breaker because high, low, higher high, and I could have had another entry in there. Since I'm trading the prop firm account, I am only allowed to trade with 5 contracts. I had all 5 contracts riding out. That's why I had about $1,000 in profit, and if I measure it, as you can see here, crazy amount of points. But like I said, I saw it coming down, and I should have noticed that as soon as this down close candle didn't act as resistance, I should have been able to recognize that and just clip the whole trade right there, and I would have been up crazy amount either way. So it's something that I got to work on, something I am working on. I journaled it down that day, but like I said, sweep of liquidity, SMT with ES. We had an order block, a breaker, another entry at this point right here with this buy side imbalance. Price came back down into the breaker and into the order block, and then just took off. I measured it. I had these levels as potential targets. I was going to close fully above here, but it came down and I closed around this area, somewhere around here, once I saw that these lows were getting violated. I should have just noticed, like I said. But let's move on to the next day. I knew on Thursday we were gonna come up. We also had news on Thursday, but I knew Thursday we were gonna come up and take out all-time high and then reverse. Typical reversal Thursday. I just didn't know how far it was gonna go on Thursday, and I should have noticed how far it was gonna go, because my initial target was this low down here. This was my initial target. It was a 13R, which is crazy, and it got basically, if I'm not mistaken, what did it get to? It got to a 9R. That's not horrible at all. That is an amazing trade. I was basically up about $1,000 on this day too. That is another 2%. So you add 2%, that's 7.2%, something like that, which is kind of crazy. This is the best week that I've ever had. This was a crazy week, and what I noticed was, since I already came into the day anticipating us to take all-time highs and drop lower for reversal Thursday, I saw that the news at 8:30 went up and took out buy side. What does it have to do next? If it took out buy side and left this big wick, I measured the wick. As you can see here, the wick is measured. Consequent encroachment of the wick was where I thought it would go up to and then reverse. So you can see I had a little bit of drawdown, but nothing to really complain about. What I did was went on the 1 minute. This is what I saw in the 1 minute. I saw that there was an imbalance. There was 2 imbalances. There was an imbalance here and an imbalance there. This one was more of a balanced price range, so this one was holding up a bit more than this one up here. It barely, I don't even think it got up to it, did it? Yeah, it did get up there, which would have been an even crazier sniper entry. That's ridiculous. But when there's 2 fair value gaps, I just always take the one on the bottom, because it's not always ensured that it's gonna go up to the higher one. But since it was in the consequent encroachment, I guess I could have targeted that. This was the RR that I ended up taking. I was very patient. I saw price coming down, came down up to here, and I was like, man, I might have missed my entry. I could have just took any entry around here and I would have made it, but I was like, no, let me stick to my plans, let me be patient. It went up, it hit that spot, and then consolidated a bit more, and it just went down, straight down, and hit my first target, which is where I took my first profits. So if I go back, so this is where I took my first profit. Took it about here. I took, if I'm not mistaken, 2 contracts off right there, left the last 3 running. I was anticipating a move up during the PM session, but what ended up happening was the move happened in the AM session around 11. 11 could be a time for a reversal or a retracement, so that's what ended up happening. It retraced, and I took the measurements of that retracement, and I got these levels. As you can see, extremely accurate level, way too accurate. Came down into the -1 of the fib. I thought it was gonna end up going lower, but as soon as this candle formed, I should have knew that it was gonna go high, because we had already respected this sell side imbalance. So why would we need to come back up? I thought maybe we would come back up into this sell side imbalance and then react off of it, but there's no point in price doing that if its target is lower. It also came into a 1 hour bullish order block. As you can see, this last down close candle was a bullish order block, which created this range higher. Yeah, that's what prompted price to return higher. That was another $1,000 trade on Thursday that I unfortunately ended up closing all my contracts around here. It gave me one last chance, came down to this, and I should have took my profits there, but I was like, let me keep watching it, maybe it'll keep going lower. No. This is another day where I was like, maybe I need to learn how to take profits more. Crazy amount of price action. The targets I need to work on. Anticipating this reversal I need to work on. It also happened in the afternoon session, which is Q4, which could be a continuation or a reversal. That's why that ended up reversing, and I should have noticed that as soon as it started coming back up, this was going to be a reversal. This is the second day that I traded on the actual account. So this day I only made a couple hundred, and then this day I made about 600 if I'm not mistaken, something like that. And I was able to I was up 1% on the account. And then let's just move on to Friday. Today I was actually, the move left without me, and this move that left without me, I would have caught this whole move up if I would have got in exactly where I wanted to get in. Originally I ended up getting in, this is the actual trade that I ended up getting into. It came back down and almost stopped me out, so I took my profits, but as you can see here, it ended up playing out. So I would have held, I was planning on holding if I got this initial entry, but it never played out. And especially as on a Friday, I would have just moved my stop loss to break even and then let it run all day, because there's no point of, it just didn't come back. So I ended up making the rest of the profit to be able to be up 2% on the account. So I am currently up 2% on the actual account. This is what I saw on the actual charts, on the 1 minute chart. I saw all these relatively equal lows and a 1 minute buy side imbalance. So what I was waiting for was that this move that ended up happening at about 9:30, this move would have came all the way down into this, tripped me in, and then took off. And it didn't, it just took off. It came down close to it. It did an immediate rebalance on the 15 minute and then just took off. What I was waiting for after that was that maybe it would consolidate a bit, and then the 10, if there was news at 10, the news would have came down, tripped me in, and then kept going higher. The news at 10 didn't do that. What happened in the news at 10? The news at 10 kind of had a retracement, which was where I entered. So I didn't enter all the way over here. I just had my limit order there. I entered on the 15 minute gap retracement. So I entered as soon as price came back into this area. So price came back down. I had my stop originally under the fair value gap body, and price reacted beautifully. As you can see, came into it, reacted beautifully, and then started to move higher. Once it started to move higher and it got up to here, I have the screenshot. It got up to here. I took a screenshot there. I was up about $400 something, and then it started to come down. Once it started to come down again, I decided to close because I had a feeling that it was going to stop me out, but for some reason it was too late. I once again, down close candle violated, came down. I should have got out in this candle. I saw it come down, react off this down close candle, and then this buy side imbalance, and then it started to do this. And once it started to do this, I should have just been like, okay, I'm done, I'm out. Should have took my profit and left. But like I said, if I would have just held here, amazing trade, would have been fine. I had another chance after this sell side sweep. I don't know if there was SMT. I wasn't paying too much attention after that, and then I didn't even look at the afternoon session, but this was ended up happening. My targets ended up being hit. This was a 9, but the original was probably like this, so it was a 4, almost a 5 RR, but then I ended up moving it up once it started going up. And like I said, I had the screenshot. I was in this move while it was above this high, and I was thinking maybe it will come down a bit, maybe try to rebalance a couple lows here, try to rebalance a couple imbalances here, leaving equal highs, and then this ultimate high that I was waiting for it to come up and take out, and then it did. And even after it came out and took all the all-time high, which was at this point at the moment. So now again, we are trading at all-time highs. I'll have to see how next week ends up playing out, but yeah, it looks very, very good. It was a very good week. It was the best week I had. I would have passed my funded account this week, but I think it's all in God's timing. I think God had a plan. It wasn't my time to pass the challenge just yet. I'm very confident on the next week, but as you can see, win Monday, win Tuesday, win Wednesday, win Thursday, and a win on Friday. Very confident going into the next week. I'm good with my risk management. What I do have to work on is my take profits. Wednesday should have took profits once I saw down close candles being validated. Thursday, same thing. I saw a breaker on Thursday actually on the lower time frame. I don't remember what time frame it was. This was the breaker. As you can see, respected over here. We had this high. We had a low that swept lows, which is sell side liquidity. Then we came down, respected this buy side imbalance, and that should have been my sign that we were going to see higher prices, especially in the afternoon session with Q4 being a reversal potential. I should have been out here. I should have noticed that after we came back down. I saw we respected, could have been out in between these 3 candles. I would have had amazing profit. It would have been very good. I still got out at my initial target, but could have played out a bit better. But yeah, let's get into the account. I haven't even seen the account myself since last week, but this is the account. As you can see, we had it looks a lot different. The curve is going up. It's getting better. As you can see here, win rate went up for sure. Trade win went up a bit. I don't know if it shows if I had like floating profits. I don't think it did. No, No, it didn't. Huge jump from June 5th to June 12th. But as you can see, I made a couple $100 this day. Had a good winning trade on, I think this was Wednesday or Thursday. This was on Thursday. Yeah, I had a good winning trade on Thursday. And then today, $200. I was up about 400, but it's okay. Win percentage is going up. Everything is really going up, as you can see here. But it should have been way higher. Easy target. I by far would have beat that target way before then. But the price that I pay for, you know, not taking my profits at the right moments, logical moments, but it's okay. It's what happens. I'm extremely confident for the next week, so make sure you tune in for the next week's video because it could happen in the next week. Let's just see what ends up happening. All in God's plan. I'm gonna keep working extremely hard. If you made it to the end of this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for the amount of support that we've been getting on this YouTube channel. It goes to show that somebody's getting some type of knowledge or benefit from these videos, so it keeps me motivated to keep going. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for the amount of support that we've been getting. Like I said already, if you're looking for your dream PC, make sure you use my discount code RTFLV for 10% off at Tektronix.com. Link is down in the description. And if you also want to know what broker I use for my FX trades, the link is also down there in the description. Make sure you tune in for the next video. Yeah, this was the best week that I've had trading futures. It was amazing. I can't wait till next week. We'll see how it ends up going, but let's just see how it ends up going. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.